Hey guys, I just finished reading Dune by Frank Herbert. It was published in 1965 and has been cited as the #1 selling science fiction novel of all time. Now, this book is awesome, and the main reason I love this book is because of the world building. Frank Herbert put so much time into the society and philosophy and religion and politics. You can really geek out on this, just like how some people geek out like on Star Wars. I could definitely see a following for Dune, and I'm sure it's out there. So when the book starts, we find out that it's like an interstellar society where houses control different planets. And the Emperor just sent word to the house that we're going to be following, called House Atreides, that they get to go take over a planet called Arrakis, which is pretty much the most important planet in the galaxy because it's the only place where you can get spice. And spice is the #1 most addictive substance in the galaxy, and you can do a lot of different things with it depending on what your abilities are. So we follow House Atreides to Arrakis, where they're gonna take over the mining of the spice, and all kinds of crap just happens from there. They have enemies called the House Harkonnen, which hate them. They both hate each other, like a blood feud, and it just goes off the hook, man. There's like these giant worms that live in the desert. If you make like any kind of noise, they'll come up, and they're like hundreds of meters big. They could just like eat a spaceship. They're so freaking huge. And there's like Bene Gesserits, which are like these witches that have their own agenda, and they're trying to take over the galaxy, but like undercover. There's like so much crap going on with this book. So it's pretty dense. You might not even understand what's going on the first 100 pages, but just stick with it because this book has definite rereadability, and you could go back after you read it once and understand some of the stuff that you didn't understand the first time around. I just love the world building in this. Paul Atreides, the main person, was trained as a Bene Gesserit, even though Bene Gesserits are usually women. So he has like all like the super mind that can like think up all this crap. He's like super smart. The main people that live on the planet live out in this harsh society that has like no moisture because they pretty much live in the desert with these giant worms. So they're like super tough. They wear these suits that help them reclaim all of their body moisture. So it's pretty much like wearing one of those sauna suits that you see people wearing when they're trying to lose weight that traps all the moisture in. But then these people like put it through a filter and like re-drink their own body moisture, which is kind of crazy, but that makes them super tough. And from eating so much spice, it turns their eyes blue, like blue on blue, so there's no color in their eyes except blue, which is pretty trippy. And they have like this crazy religion with all this philosophy. Like, it's just so awesome. Like, the banter, the way people talk in this book is kind of crazy because it's like so formal all the time, which I didn't really understand why they would talk like that, because you would think like the tough desert people would like have slang and all this crap, but all the talking in this book is really formal. But they really do go at it like at dinner parties. The banter back and forth is so sharp. Like, Paul Atreides is only 15 years old, but he like talks smack to like old dudes that are like generals and like governors and all kinds of crap because he's like super smart because he's been trained as a Bene Gesserit. This book is just really awesome. If you love world building and you love science fiction, it's really good. But even if you like fantasy, I think this would be a good book because the science fiction isn't too heavy. There isn't like robots and like crazy stuff that you have to know about. They fight with knives. The only thing really that's science fiction-y is like, I don't know, they live in space and spaceships drop them off at the planets. But once they're on the planet, it's pretty much like a fantasy book. So if you like fantasy and want to try to get into a little bit of sci-fi just to give it a go, I think this book would be awesome. The world building is superior, and that's the #1 thing I liked about this book. I would suggest anybody that likes fantasy or science fiction, world building, and like an epic adventure, you should check this book out. Thanks.
You start with